Hey, hey, Cannonball Nation! It is Thursday, June 26, 2025, and I am literally fresh off a plane from Hawaii. We had an amazing family trip. We landed back in Texas at 6 a.m. We've been running nonstop since. And I'm so excited for today's call. We have Roy Snarr and Ryan Bartels on the call. Some of you may know I've talked about them here, there, and yonder, how I've partnered with them on the annuities and long-term care and life insurance side of things. We got to talking about what was it, about a year and a half ago, Roy? And I was just
Yeah.
like, I do not have time to learn this stuff. I want to learn this stuff. I want to be good at it. I don't want to screw somebody up when you're talking about somebody's finances, but at the same time, I'm so wrapped up in the Medicare and the ACA space and all the things. Time is just what I don't have. And Roy's like, well, I can help you. I'm like, well, how can you help me, Roy? Please tell me how you can help me. And
Uh,
so he told me all the things they could do for us, and we developed a wonderful partnership. And Ryan and Roy, I invited them on today's call to talk to you all about it, to see if it's something you might be interested in doing as well. And from there, Roy, Ryan, welcome. Thank you for
yeah.
coming, and the floor is yours.
Well, we appreciate the time here. And Ryan's actually, you see him driving. He's on his way to another workshop because we do workshop Social Security and stuff. The thing I want to share with y'all, because I work with a lot of people in the Medicare space over the years, there's a lot of stuff that Medicare doesn't cover, as you know. And Medicare is constantly changing the rules as well. But one of the angles that we help Medicare agents and then the consumers learn about is what Medicare does not cover. I mean, there's a lot that it doesn't. That's where ancillary product sales like heart attack, stroke, cancer come in, short-term home health care, et cetera. But one of the biggest elephants in the room is long-term care. And so a lot of people always ask us, well, Roy, Ryan, how do you guys write all of your annuity premium? Right? Because it's not like you can just do a workshop or people will flock to your office and say, I want to buy an annuity. I heard about them on TV. They're great. That never happens. So you have to have a door opener. The best door opener, if you're already in the healthcare space, is to simply talk about what the plans and the government's not going to provide, which is long-term care. So that's one of our key door openers. And I'll give everyone on this call, I have a free guide. I typed it up. It's like 52 pages. I also am in school, SKOOL. I know, Rebecca, you are too. There's a 10-step video. It's free. My school account's free. There's this 10-step video on long-term care, all of the PDFs that we use, a complete guide with even scripting examples, everything about how to open that conversation up. Because long-term care is a perfect gateway into the annuity sale because you're already talking about insurance products and how to preserve their portfolio. Now, with long-term care, it's not that complicated. I mean, I remember at one point, one of my friends was taking the AHIP and I was reading through it. I've had my health insurance license for nearly 15 years and I couldn't answer any of those questions. So if you can sell Medicare and the other basic forms of life insurance, long-term care is not too far of a stretch. But to Rebecca's point here, you may be in a position that you're not able to dedicate time to learn these types of products, to learn the annuities, the asset-based LTC, but you also want to service your client and you also don't want to leave money on the table. And this is where we come in as a partnership. We don't sell Medicare. We only focus on life insurance, long-term care, and annuities. And the majority of our business is annuities, then long-term care, and then life insurance. Because the marketplace we go after are the boomers. And so it's a perfect dichotomy because what you're doing, you're helping these boomers with planning for long-term healthcare events, but now you can add in the actual long-term care insurance. And if you don't want to write it, you don't have time, you're focused on your own practice, that's where you refer it to Ryan and myself. And we help work with you and your clients. And we are a part of your team, right? It's not like you're referring somebody outside. We're a part of your team and say, hey, look, we have a specialized division that focuses on what Medicare doesn't cover. Let me get a couple questions answered and collect some information, and I can book you a time, and it'll be very educational, just like we spent the time today going over your Medicare options or your AC options. This way you can understand what Medicare will not cover and what your options are. Because with annuities, the biggest objection that you get with people is not the actual product, is that they already have an advisor. And with long-term care, most advisors don't even offer it. And so that's one of the programs that we offer to help you help your clients. You can increase your revenue and also better serve your clients, and they're less likely to leave you because they have more than one line of coverage. I'll give you an example of one of our biggest partnerships. Their highest year of referring business to us was over $500,000 in commissions. And they didn't do anything but book time on our calendar. And so maybe you want to just book time on our calendar, not even be a part of the sales cycle at all. You just want to say, hey, they're interested. We will get you paid directly. You are agent of record. They are your clients, not ours. We are simply your back office, your support team to the perception of the client, which is a win-win for you. If you want to learn the process, which we encourage you to do, but maybe it's not up your alley or maybe you don't have the time, then if you want to actually learn it, you would hop on the call with us, right? And see the entire process from A to Z. I say this all the time. It's like riding a bicycle. You can read all these manuals about riding a bike, but until you get on that damn seat and try to ride that bike, you're never going to learn it. So the best way to learn it is not just by watching videos or courses, but actually jumping in, going on a live Zoom call with myself or Ryan and saying, hey, look, we're going to break all this down. You work with the client. We show you the different options. That way you get to see how it is A to Z, all the underwriting, all the fun stuff, case design, product design, all of that. So we make it very flexible in our partnership program where you can refer it out to us, or you can say, I want to learn it. Or maybe you have somebody in your office that wants to learn it and you have them hop on board with us. That's common too with a lot of the partnerships we have. Like the agency owner may not have the time, but they have a junior agent, maybe they're LOA or whatever, a junior agent that wants to be a part of this. And they say, hey, look, I'm going to make my junior agent the long-term care expert within my office. Just train them. We'll do a revenue share on the first series of applications so they get their feet worked in, and then we're off to the races. We can also help with that. So we make it really, really simple. But to wrap this up a little bit, the main point here is if you can understand what Medicare does and does not do, and if you can understand the basics of Social Security and what it does and does not do, that is your best door opener to get into the annuity sales and the long-term care sales to better serve your clients. And that's where you have to do a time audit too. Because if you start looking at it, if I had to spend an hour with somebody to sell a final expense policy, wouldn't it be better to spend an hour with somebody and then write, say, a $500,000 annuity and make 35,000 in commission, right? And so that's what I started doing. I slowly progressed myself up because I didn't have a book of business in Medicare with renewals coming in. I was just selling final expense. And so you can start diversifying your income, which also helps your EBITDA value if you're looking to sell by adding ancillary lines in, such as life insurance, long-term care, and annuities into your practice. Has anybody on the call here, do you actively sell long-term care or asset-based LTC, anything like that, or annuities currently?
I do.
Oh,
I'm
Ryan,
working
you
on
do?
it.
Yeah. Ryan, you need to sell a lot more. I need to retire.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll jump in real quick too. It's really cool because I think Bailey and Wendy over there at KBI have sent me a few leads already, which is great. One of them, I ended up selling a small life policy, but uncovered a pension that this particular client had, and we're working on a 270 something thousand-dollar rollover off of a small $89 a month life case, right? So it's out there. I think the point that Roy was trying to make somewhere in there was you got to know the process first, right? Because I wouldn't have known to ask the questions that I asked if I hadn't had the training already. So there's a lot of ins and outs to it, but thankfully I had great mentors in Roy and Garrett to show me how to uncover this stuff, right? So
I was actually just going to mention that case, Ryan. So Bailey, who's brand new in the office, she's only been with us like 90 days, 100 days. And she had
nice.
a client, and I don't even know how life insurance got brought up, but it did. And she only knows to send it to Ryan. Like she hasn't known any other process in the office because she's that new. And so she just emailed Ryan and she CCs me on it, emails Ryan's, gives Ryan's the basic information what the client needs, this and that. and it's a life case. Well, Ryan reaches out, and then we get an email back like an hour later, be like, okay, I made contact with her, so we're going to do this life insurance and we're going to do this annuity. I mean, Bailey can't even spell the word annuity yet, right? And he was able to uncover that much money. And that's kind of the idea when you work with experts. Like, we're experts in Medicare, we're experts in all things health. And most of us maybe dabble in life or dabble in long-term care and but we're not the expert. We can't take a 30-minute conversation that was just a life lead and all of a sudden uncover $300,000 plus make the life sale, because we're not the expert at that. And these guys are. And it's been a wonderful relationship so far. And we're making money, right? And all I have to do is tell my people, email Ryan, and I make money, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Because that's the other thing too. You have to think big on this, because it can turn in, somebody just has an old life insurance policy. They say, you know what, I want some burial coverage. Okay, no problem at all. What do you have that can act as burial coverage? What do you have currently? You start uncovering these assets. Just like if Ryan didn't know how to ask the certain questions and read the conversation, he wouldn't have been able to extrapolate that nice rollover. And so oftentimes it turns out agents are surprised where they think it's just going to be a small like LTC deal or a small little tiny life deal, but then you start uncovering the other assets. So oftentimes one sale can lead to multiple sales and also referral partnerships. Like that one tiny life deal turned into a nice juicy rollover there. So that's what you have to keep in mind as well too. It's like one product can lead to another product that leads to another product, and then we're in that cycle with them.
Yeah, it was great. I get this email, be like, hey, Beck, do you have this contract? I'm like, no, I don't think so. They're like, great, here, fill this out and do this quick training so we can get you paid on it, which is
Yes.
really nice too. They help us monitor that, right? Because I don't know all the annuity contracts. I mean, I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. And our name goes on the application as one of the writing agents. That's the other thing I really want to stress here, guys. So, if Ryan writes it, his name's on the app, but guess whose name's also on the app? My name's also on the app. And generally, my name's top of Ryan's. He'll put my name first.
Mm-hmm.
So I am the servicing agent on this in the future. So it really does look like this is 100% still my client. And Ryan and Roy are here literally as our back office, as they said, supporting us, which is fantastic.
Yeah, we could be your janitors, your secretary, the yard guy. We don't care. So you have all the power, all the leverage, all the control. You are the rock star. Our job is just to process in the shadows, right? And that's how a lot of the like working with Rebecca and her team, it's like, okay, look, these guys here, we have a specialized division within our office, which gives you even more leverage because it's impossible to be an expert at everything. And we're just that little nerdy section on the long-term care, what Medicare won't cover. And then we're just going to help you as the rock star process everything and work with the client and communicate. And you're agent of record. They are your clients, your agent of record. And then if you get a question too in the future, what's going to happen is you're going to get letters for annual reviews, and you may not know how to handle those. That's okay though. We work together in the beginning. And even though there's not renewal type of commission on this side of the fence, we're still there to service you and your client for the life of that contract. Even in the event of a claim, we're going to help walk you through how to do the claims paperwork to better help the client also. But that's what's the best part about it. You're the rock star. It's your case, everything. We're just the paperwork pushers. That's all. And we're happy with that too, because it all works out.
Hey, Roy, this is Renee.
Hey, Renee.
Do you guys have your series as well?
No, we don't do any securities-based stuff. We have a partner that does do securities if we need to refer that over, but we just stick with the fixed side.
Okay.
Are you securities licensed?
No, but it's, I would like to have someone that in this case, I could refer it over to that wants to do multiple things.
True. That's a good point. Where are you based out of?
Nashville.
Oh, okay. Nashville. Okay, cool. I have some people there that you could interview them to see if they're of your liking. But yeah, because on the usually like on our premium volume here, to give you an example, we write like right around 50 million a year in FIA premium. But then out of that, we're only utilizing close to 30% of the client's portfolio on the top line. We're usually around the 20% mark. So there's all this money left over, right? But I never wanted to get the securities license. Way too much compliance, way too much headache. And once you really understand how those work, I'm not a big fan of charging people a fee. Most people don't need active management per se, but it's always good to, like, to your point, have that person in your back pocket. In fact, if I were you, one of the key ways that you can create an additional relationship, you want to look at fee-based only advisors. And here's why. Because they don't accept any commissions. So you go to fee-based only advisors, just Google them in Tennessee. And what you could do, I used to do this back in the day. I'd write out a handwritten card. I'd write out 20 of them, and I'd invite them to go to lunch. I'd mail the card, and then I would connect with them on LinkedIn, usually a day after they would normally receive the card, and just say, hey, look, I'm a Medicare professional in your local area. I want to help service your clients. I'd love to take you out to lunch to see if we can have a working relationship, because some of my clients may be asking for management of their funds, and I don't do that. I don't hold that license. How about we get together? And you start interviewing them and you build a relationship. And if you did that with 50 financial advisors, I 100% promise you, you will make at least 2 to 3 awesome partnerships out of there, and they'll start feeding you business. Then the bigger picture is this. Okay, I get the Medicare referral from them. What about the long-term care? See, they're not going to be huge fans of income annuities or growth annuities because they have a different philosophy. But the long-term care, they're all about it, because the fee-based advisors, as part of the fiduciary standard, they have to refer or educate people on long-term care. You could be that person as well. We get tons of referrals from financial advisors, and they don't sell them an annuity, just work on the long-term care. And then when you design a plan, talk to us first, and we'll tell you which plan that we want them to have. No problem at all. I'll just do what I'm told. I have no issues with that. So
Yeah, thank you for that, Ryan. I work with a lot of financial advisors.
perfect.
Not one of them is a fee-based advisor. So
Okay.
I'm curious to dig into that a little bit. So thank you for bringing that up.
I would, yeah.
And they've been great. They've been my best referral partner, hands down.
Oh yeah.
And so I get a lot of people asking about financial planning. It comes up quite often, and I refer out left and right. But of course, I'd rather keep it with the family, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so let me give you an example. Let's say you're helping with a client, like, yeah, I need some financial planning, and say, hey, no worries at all. We actually have a specialized division within our company that focuses on certain aspects of financial planning, specifically risk mitigation. And a part of that is going to be talking about long-term care and also securing some of the financial assets. And so in the order of sequence, we got to take care of your Medicare. Let's look at some options on asset protection for your portfolio. And then I can give you an introduction to somebody who could potentially actively manage it for you for much higher potential growth, because you want to separate your specialists. Your doctor is not going to do your taxes, right? And so you have to have a separation of specialists. And that's one of the things that we bring to the table for our clients, is that we have all these key partners, a part of our team, that only do certain things, but they're experts at those certain things. And people really appreciate that. That way, you get the first intake form of the financial assets. You work with Ryan, for example, and Ryan goes, okay, out of these assets, we can work with this bucket. And then the rest of it, maybe refer to the other financial partner. And then to deepen the relationship, you connect Ryan and that other financial partner first, so that financial partner doesn't talk him out of what Ryan's done, which benefits you. We all work together as one big team, and it's all up and up.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem at all. Yeah. So when I first started in this business, I had zero marketing budget, just like Rebecca's grassroots book. Man, I was door knocking, everything you can imagine, walking into hotel rooms using their printers. I used to sit at the same Starbucks and just survey people as they walked in about different financial topics. It was crazy. So a lot of this stuff I learned the hard way, but it also is still applicable in today's marketplace. Like, if you want more referrals, just got to go take out those financial advisors to lunch, or even the other people too. CPAs generally are not good referral partners. That's just my experience. Maybe you get a lucky one. But estate planning attorneys are also awesome, because during the estate plan, if you can represent yourself as a long-term care insurance specialist, a part of that is life insurance. Some of the biggest referrals we've ever received writing life insurance premiums, and I'm talking $300,000-$400,000 a year in premium, and not this bank on yourself, whatever stuff that doesn't work. I'm talking about irrevocable life insurance trusts, big single premium, lifetime exemptions. There's a lot you can do with that. And having that relationship with an estate planning attorney or an agency that's established is key, because they always want to refer out to other people. So
Roy, when are you guys going to be in Austin? I didn't know that you were going to be at that annuities training in Austin.
you didn't know I was going to be there? Yeah, I'm thinking about attending. I'm not sure if I'll make it.
I didn't realize that. I'm like, gosh darn it, I was gonna go, and now that I know it was you guys gonna be there, I'm bummed. What day is it?
Yeah, August 21st and 22nd.
Oh, good. Okay. It's not, I thought it was something like in the early part of July.
Oh no, it's August 21st and 22nd. I created that event last year kind of on a whim because I realized quickly that there wasn't an annuity training conference, and the link's in there if you want to go. So we created the only annuity training conference in the entire country. Rebecca was there last year, same with Mark. And what's different about it is that it's all training. It's all boot camp style. So there's not like a motivational aspect to it. It's not like a cheerleader event. It's just pure training. Like we have a whole hour on disclosure forms, but it's important to know how those actually work. And so all of the speakers there, they're all industry experts, top 1% in the country. And a lot of these people, they're not even on my team. So it's a non-biased event that's not salesy or recruity. It's just, hey, education, boot camp, come down, hang out. Plus, it's at the Kalahari Resorts, which is a badass place to stay.
But it was so great because you don't, like you said, you don't see those pop up. And then I didn't, I just now put two and two together that it was your event. So bear with me on that. I'm a little slow today.
Hey, no, it's all good. And then also, Travis just chatted too. He's coming out for the July 2nd. What we do also, if you like, we have a seminar training once a month. And so you could come down if you wanted to. The next one's July 2nd. I don't know how many people we're going to have there because it's also 2 days before 4th of July. But in summary, we show you how to do workshops. We say, this is a Social Security workshop. And then we give you our workshop, a whole training program with it. And you could just go out and run your own Social Security workshops or Medicare workshops. It's an all-in-one system, and there's no cost to you. I mean, I'm not going to pay for your plane ticket, but you can come down here and you see a real live workshop, and then we train you on how we close the business on the back end.
And where is that on the 2nd?
It's in Cedar Park, Texas. So
oh, okay. So it's in the Austin area as well.
It is, yeah. We're selfish. We don't want to travel anywhere. So
well, that's cool. I just know where you guys were located. I got it.
Yeah.
Everything's in Texas, man. I gotta move to Texas, I guess.
This is where it's happening. I mean,
well, I have to keep going back to Texas even after I left.
There you go.
Too many people I love that are in that state.
Is it the seminar that you do, the seminar training that you do, is it the same like kind of day each month or is it vary?
Yeah, on our website you can see it, but it's usually the first Wednesday of each month is when we do the seminar training. You can go to teamsnarr.com and check it out. It's the first Wednesday of each month, and then you fly down. This is 1 day training. I mean, it's all day. Like we start training at 9, we train for 2 hours, and we take you to a live workshop. So there's real consumers in there, so you actually see a real one. Ryan hosts the workshops. So I have him doing that because he just started, and I want to show people, look, I've been doing it for 7 years, but I want to show you how a new agent can come in to workshops. Ryan's been selling for a while, but to workshops and absolutely crush it. I mean, he's already well over 4 million in annuity premium so far this year. His goal is to eclipse 10 million, and he sold his very first annuity in December of last year for $5,000. So now he's really upticking his game. And the workshops are great because you get Medicare referrals out of it, all kinds of extra business, and then people come to see you. Right? So even if you don't want to come down and use ours, do your own there, because workshops, in my opinion, is the best way to get business besides client referrals, because I don't have to chase them down. They're coming to see me. I'm not buying them dinner. We do it all educational. And then they want to come visit with me again and sit down and get information. And then from there, we show them Social Security. We say, hey, is this enough income? No, it's not. What if there was a way to create another type of Social Security check? I'd love that. Great. What do you have to work with? Here's what I have. Here's an annuity income report. Bam. Literally, that's our sales process. A little bit more to it, but on the high level, that's what we do.
Hey Roy, let me hop in here real quick. So I went to his seminar workshop this past month, right? I think was it June or May or June? I don't remember.
It was this month, yeah.
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 So the beginning of the month, and it is the best workshop I think I've been to ever. We take a field trip in the middle of the day to go watch a seminar being put on, like a real one, not just talking theory, right? And then I don't know if he's going to continue doing this because most of us ordered steaks last time, but
Yeah, Mark ordered like a michelada, caviar, prime rib. I'm like, ordered food
Couple
to
bottles of
go for his
champagne.
kids.
But yeah, so we after the workshop, we all kind of debriefed over lunch, and then um went over kind of how the workshop went, and then went back and finished up the afternoon with a couple more pieces of information we needed. And then Roy, he's real stingy, he he only gives us absolutely everything for free. All the workshops, all the letters, every single thing that you need, checklists to do the workshops. And so probably I'd appreciate it if most of you would not come to his workshop, because then you all have the same tools that I've got. So yeah, it's fantastic. And then as far as annuity producers, I'm sure Rebecca would agree. It was a unique seminar that we went to last year. I don't think I saw any recruiting by anybody anywhere. It was
Right.
all 100% like, this is how you do the business. So
Fun fact, I found my new financial advisor at that
Oh,
seminar
yeah.
last year, Roy.
Who
Me
was
and
it?
me and Jason hooked up, and he's now my new finance guy. And then
Nice.
I'm helping him with all his Medicare and health insurance for his clients.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, we hit it off real. God, we must have talked that first night for like 4 hours.
Wow.
Just sitting around. Yeah, no, we hit it right off. And really cool guy. And there,
That's
there's a
great.
lot of guys like that there, right? That are very specific. Like he's a full-on finance guy that just came to a Noonie workshop to kind of hear more about it.
Yeah.
And we get to talking, and I'm in the hunt for a finance person because there isn't much of that around Stephenville, Texas. And we just really hit it off.
That's cool. And that's the other part of it. It's a great place to network. That's why I love all these other insurance conferences. I get to meet. I would never have met Rebecca if it wasn't for 8% and seeing each other again at SWAT and going to these events. So there's something to be said to go to learn, but also to network and build relationships. And you get to meet people and keep lifelong friends and help out. And it's cool. And we're in a position where we all can make money together, better their clients' lives, and have a lot of fun. So.
I'm curious for the seminars that you do. Do you feed people at those, or are you
No,
just
it's all
is it
education. So we do them at like libraries or community colleges. Uh, we keep it simple. And then we rent the room out. We use like nonprofit mailers. We use our own Facebook ads that work actually well versus other companies. And we just do it all pure educational. So the only thing we have at our workshop, they get bottled water, which is Fiji, and there's a reason why it's Fiji. There's psychology to it. And then also we have like little organic Costco snacks, like little cookies or like bag of nuts or whatever. That's it. Really simple. I mean, it works out great because if you buy lunch, I've done dinner seminars, they cost like 12 grand, right? You do get plate liquors. You can still make money on it, but if I'm buying you dinner, I automatically want some. There's no way that I'm going to see something online that says free dinner and free information. There's always a catch, right? Now, there's still a psychological catch to come to a free educational workshop, but it's not nearly as steep as it is with a dinner. And then you do it at a nonprofit trusted location like a library, right? And it just helps bring the walls down, and it works phenomenally well. I've done workshops for 7 years. I've done hundreds of them, and I've done them at every type of venue you can imagine. Libraries and community colleges are the best.
So are you just calling up the community college and just asking to use a room? I mean, here our libraries, you can't use the library unless you have a 501c3 status.
Well, we can get you
can
that.
prove it.
Yeah, we have an IRS certification letter. Mark actually introduced me to the mail house that provides that. It's $200 a year.
yeah, I
to
mean,
have-
I've been trying to help you with that, Kate. I mean, there's a solution for that, you know. So we use the 503 whatever, what is it, the 501c LMNOP document, send it to the libraries, and we get the nonprofit rate for the rooms and the whole 9 yards. And then we also pay nonprofit postage through the mail house. And, you know, I busted my butt last year finding a solution for that with the help of this crazy person called the Medicare Wonder Woman. She led me by the nose down the path and said, go do this thing that you're really good at. And so that's what I did. So we
Yeah.
found the solution to that.
The other solution too, Kate, is if libraries are a challenge, community colleges or even universities, all you do is you call them up, say, hey, I'd like to rent the room out. We're teaching some education to the local community here. They charge you like 150 bucks or whatever. I mean, it's different wherever you're at, but the big thing about universities and community colleges is the freaking parking. So make sure that it's not like a disaster trying to get in there and they have to walk down to wing B, class C. You know, you don't want to have all that because they'll just get confused. But community colleges are awesome. We can't use them here in Round Rock or Cedar Park or our Central Texas area because they require every person that comes in, they have to scan their ID in order to get into the classroom. And there's one gal there, Sally, that sits at the desk that is like about as enthusiastic as a snail on molasses. And she just takes forever to get in there. And it drives me insane. I'm like, why can't, this is a community college. Can't they just go upstairs? Like, no, we got to sign them in and fill out this bullshit form. It's crazy. So anyways, we can't do it here, but you might be able to do it where you're at.
Hey, Roy, I only got the first like 7 letters of that card. Could you hold it up again, please?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. So, but anyways, y'all think about this, right? Like even for your own Medicare practice, start doing workshops. It totally works. A lot of the objections we get in the past from Medicare agents, like, well, if I do a workshop, like ours are costing us about $3 to $5 grand, depending on how many people we want there. That's it. But you might think to yourself, $3 grand, I'd have to sell 10 supplement policies or whatever the commissions are. But you got to look at a bigger picture. Bigger picture is maybe you only sell one Medicare policy, but you refer them to your back office that helps you with a $1 million annuity and you make 30, 40 grand, right? So our ROI in our workshops are 12x, but we focus on the annuity and asset-based LTC side. And it does compound itself over the course of time. If you already have a pre-existing book, how cool is this? Here's a free marketing tip. You have a pre-existing book. You send out an email to everyone. And all you say is, hey, look, Medicare has a lot of areas of coverage, but there also are some areas that it does not cover. I want to schedule a quick call with you to let you know what your plan won't cover so you're not surprised in the future. They're going to be like, what do you mean it does not cover, right? And to help protect yourself to save face from that client, like, why didn't you tell me about this before? You can use multitudes of excuses. You could say, well, during our open enrollment period, we don't have time. Now that things have slowed down, we're past special enrollment or whatever. And now we have time to go back through. Or you could say we just launched a division within our company that specializes in what Medicare does not cover. Oh, you just launched that division? Yes, because we want to better, well-rounded help our clients out, right? So those are 2 other objections I just threw out there because that's what some agents say back to us. So, but it's simple. I mean, if you have 1,000 clients, let's say you have 200 clients, you send that email out and they're Medicare, you're going to get a couple appointments, right? And then let's say the other time people in health insurance say, Roy, my book's all ACA. They're all in their 40s. Perfect. Or 50s. That's awesome for life insurance sales. Not so much for annuities, but that's awesome for life insurance. Tee them up. Even some preliminary long-term care. I mean, the average commission that we generate on our life insurance policies is nearly $3,000 because we don't sell final expense. We sell the real life insurance. And so there's lots of opportunities, even if you have a heavy book in ACA.
So I have a community college, Roy. If I schedule a room, can I get you to drive up here? You know, I'm only a couple hours north of you.
Just do another workshop. I do them all the time.
Yeah, we'll just schedule you a workshop and we'll just put you in the workshop.
There you go. And then we'll have Ryan do it since he'll close all the business with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll piggyback a Medicare one on top of it. So we'll do a Medicare and annuity long-term care workshop all in one swoop.
There you go. I mean, it does work that way. I mean, ideally, the best way to do the workshops is like if you do them and you meet with them, you have a celebrity appeal. Because sometimes if like somebody does it for you, pass it off is a little bit different. But we've done that in the past where it's like, hey, look, we're going to do a joint workshop. And, you know, you make them like 30-minute segments each, so it's not too overwhelming. And then you get a whole bunch of data. I've even done a Medicare and Social Security workshop because I understand the basics of Medicare. Luckily, at that time, I had an agent with me because when they were asking questions, like, I'm going to get off my employer plan. How long do I have? And what's this form I need? I'm like, well, that's why we're working here as a team. I'm going to go ahead and let Bill answer that question. Right. And then Bill answered the question because I had no idea, but it works out well. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or thoughts about any of this stuff?
I have a quick
Renee,
question.
go ahead, Candace.
So I do workshops a lot, and I'm actually doing anyway. So what is something that you've realized is the best way to get attendees to come? Because I'm struggling with people actually coming. Like I've done different registration ways. I've spread it everywhere on Facebook, flyers, places. What is your like number one or two to get attendees to come?
I'll give you a breakdown of that. So are you doing Medicare workshops?
Yes, and I'm actually doing joint workshops with people that do long-term care and in-home caregiving, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. The cheapest and easiest way to get butts and seats is either Social Security or Medicare. Why? Because they're mandatory options that the majority of people have to take. If you do workshops that are not mandatory requirement, like I've done lots of seminars on long-term care, terrible show up rate and very expensive to get people there. But I do one on Social Security. They're going to come there because they got questions. Same thing with Medicare. They're like, man, I got to make a decision on this enrollment process, right? So when it comes to, let's say, Medicare, if that's one of your specialties, I would recommend the same thing that Mark recommended to me, which is this nonprofit mailer, right? And then you can do a Facebook ad campaign specifically for Medicare Learning Workshop. And you don't have to buy them dinner. In fact, I feel it has more, or lunch, right? I know a lot of Medicare agents do lunch. I feel it has way more value if you don't offer food because it's like less of a pitch to them. And then you can get people in. In addition to that, there's a follow-up process that you want to have. Like what we have built out is a sequence through Go High Level that when they register, they get text automation, they get an email confirmation, and then I have my mommy, because she works with me, I have her call all the people and tell them, hey, look, the class is tomorrow, and she shoots them a text message too, right? So we really hammer down on them. I'll give you the stats too. On direct mail, if I have 20 registrations on direct mail, about 15 of them will show up. If I have 20 registrations on Facebook, about 9 of them will show up because Facebook is less sticky for whatever reason. But those are the numbers that we run. And if you want to have a room full of like 20 people, and let's say you're doing Medicare, you're doing Facebook, you'd probably need to spend around $2,500 to $3,000. If you're doing it on direct mail, you need to spend probably around $3,000 to $4,500 to get that room in there. So it all comes down to budget, what you're willing to spend based on the attendee rate that you want, but you want to use the service to actually generate it.
For Medicare, guys, you don't need to, well, at least in my area. So I'm in Austin, I'm north of Austin in Round Rock. I get 40 people. I do 2 workshops on a Saturday, one at 10 in the morning, one at 2 in the afternoon. There's room for 20 people per workshop. And I spent about $2,500 in direct mail on that. To do the same thing just on Facebook, Roy's 100% right. It'd be $3 to $5 grand. So it's way better to do direct mail. And then I 100% agree that, so I've done both where I feed them and where I don't feed them. And it's always better when you don't. I don't even offer water. Somebody shows up in the classroom and they go, what, you don't have water? And I said, didn't you get the text message? You were supposed to bring it. Then that gets
Mark will headbutt them right after that.
They'll give me a smile and a giggle, and then they'll go get their own damn water, So yeah. But those are library workshops too. And Roy, would you agree? Like, I think there's probably a better, because you have great stories about doing workshops at colleges where you got to pay a kid to tell people where to go and whatnot. But like,
oh yeah,
I think the turnout at libraries is even better than the colleges. It's the best place to do them.
It is, ideally. So, but yeah, I mean so hopefully that answers your question there. But if you have you could just email me if you want, say, hey, I need some introductions to mail or whatever and Facebook stuff, and I'm happy to give that to you. and you could just run them up there. So just, I've tried literally every mail vendor, every ad campaign out there, virtually everyone. I love that word, virtually, but dozens of them. And we finally found the ones that actually work pretty well. So did you have a question, Kate?
No,
Yeah.
now I want to know who works really well, because I'm located in Florida. And so, and it's just completely oversaturated. Everybody and their mother is doing seminars. I've done Medicare and Social Security. I'm an RSSA. I've done
Yeah.
Medicare and Social, and a CMIP as well for Medicare. So I've done Medicare and Social Security. I've done Medicare. I've done, you know, I feel like I've done it all, and I've used tons of vendors, and I've tried doing things on my own. It's just nothing works. Like
Well,
nothing.
you live in God's waiting room. That's why Florida and Phoenix are like some of the hardest places to do workshops. And it is what it is. You just have to spend more. So like if Mark and I want to do a workshop here, we're going to spend probably a third of what you have to spend per your area. And that's just kind of the math. But here's another idea. Maybe you don't want to spend a lot of money on workshops. Do you get referrals from financial advisors right now?
I really don't. I've tried, but it's really difficult for them to, they're very difficult. I'll just say,
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
have not had, I haven't had luck having a really good, I work really all off of referrals, but it's not from people that I meet within business. And I'm very involved in the community and with networking and stuff. And I just don't really get referrals from people.
Another idea too, it's also oversaturated there, but like if you Florida is similar to Texas. Like, so in Texas, you want to buy a house, you're going to be in an HOA most likely, unless you live kind of further out. And so HOAs here, at least, I'm not sure there, but you also have Sun City, Del Mar down there. You can do what's called door-to-door mailers. It's very inexpensive, and then host it in the community center. That's one option, or a golf course that's local there. I mean, everybody golfs in Florida, right? So you could do it like at the country club, rent that room out if you needed to. But for the actual direct marketing pieces, if you don't have a big budget for the marketing ad spend, I mean, you can justify it now by selling annuities and long-term care easily. And then you keep your Medicare business for the lifetime value of it. So you'll definitely get paid for it. But another inexpensive and actually free way is if you make a couple partnerships with some financial advisors. Again, if you wrote out 50 cards to 50 advisors around there, they're everywhere, and said, hey, I want to work with you. Then what you do is you go to that advisor and say, hey, we're going to do a webinar call. Let's do a webinar call with all of your clients. I'm going to explain to them how Medicare works and what Medicare doesn't cover. They would do that. Even if you have your own book and you want myself or Ryan on that call, and then you just blast it out to your whole database, say, hey, join this call about our, our specialized division that focuses on what Medicare doesn't cover. We're going to be discussing long-term care and Social Security planning, or whatever it may be. That's definitely another option. The other thing that you can do with RSSA is that since you already have it, and they're a good partner of ours, they have a program for $150 a month. You do the roadmap program. You can do webinars in your area in conjunction with the workshops. And what the webinars will do for you is dominate your branding in that local area, and it's easier for people. And then during the webinars, you offer them to come to your live workshops, and you start building up a base there, and then you can drip on them, have them fill out the roadmap, do all that fun stuff. We're actually starting to implement that here in the Austin, Texas area to drop down our cost of attendees.
So it's new to you to be, I haven't gone through the training that they explain their program yet for that.
I haven't either. I'm working with Tom, Tom Drapala,
Yeah.
on that roadmap program, and I'm just not tech savvy at all. But I mean, we're looking at it together, and it's basically you pay $150 a month, and they give you a link, and then people can fill it out. And the reason why we're using it is because when we're doing national webinar calls on Social Security, there's a lot of people that want to call and talk to us directly, but we can't help them, right? So this has like a pre-asset filter where it helps us kind of filter out the folks that we can help. And then those that don't have anything, at least they get something in return and value, which is the Social Security report. So it's not like, oh, we're not going to talk to you unless you have money. It's kind of a nicer way that they lay it all out. But, and if you're licensed in multiple states, you can spread the webinar out too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Kate, I was just gonna bring up, you know what, last time I was in Florida, I mean, everybody, I have to tell you, they were on the pickleball courts. I'm just saying, they're all out there on the pickleball courts. You might want to learn how to play.
Actually, I had an insurance company buy me pickleball equipment. But my problem is it's time. I don't have the time to go out and do it. But yeah, I was just talking about pickleball right before this call about how I
Yeah.
was like, we need to do some more stuff with pickleball.
There was one other thing that Roy mentioned too that I wanted to bring up to you. And I actually had a client that I enrolled that found me somehow and had been working with a financial advisor in Houston that was doing a ton of business. Once he referred me to him, because he asked, who are you working with? Who did your Medicare? Connected me with that financial advisor. That financial advisor invited me on to speak to every single one of his clients. It kept me busy. It kept me busy the entire AEP. So my recommendation on that is any client you have, if ask them who their financial advisor is, have them introduce you because a lot of them have it and they don't even talk about it.
Yep. That's perfect. That's how you get part. We do that all the time with people, you know, and then who does your taxes? Who does your will and your trust? So let's reach out to them so that way we can update everything with them. Right. And you start building a referral partner. It's a grind, but it doesn't, you know, it all adds up. Like if you get, like I said, that 50 number is magic. You do 50 outreaches, you'll get 1 or 2 partnerships that'll actually refer you business. You just got to take the time to do that, write out the letter. Why do you write a letter out? Because no one does that. Everyone sends an email or just connects on LinkedIn or messages them on Instagram or whatever it is. But if you send them a letter, they get it, they open it up, they're like, oh, wow, this is real. Oh, it's handwritten, introducing themselves. They can look you up. You're inviting them to take out the lunch to see if you can work together. And you position the letter where it's like you want to give them clients, right? Not like, hey, I'm looking for something. And then you have that lunch and you build that rapport. Yep. But I have to go pick up my son. He's at daycare and it's 30 minutes away. I was supposed to be there 10 minutes ago, but that's okay. This insurance never sleeps. This business is 24 hours a day. But I dropped my email in there if you have any questions. Also, if you email me, CC Ryan on there too, ryan@snarrinsurance.com. Highly encourage everyone to come down to the Annuity Producers event, obviously. And if you want more information on all this stuff, Rebecca and I and Ryan, we're all one big team, right? So we all work together. Just let us know how we can help out. And, you know, hopefully this will be your best AEP ever. So
thank you.
Be exciting. Thank you, Roy, for your time. I appreciate it so
Yeah.
much. I will get everybody hooked up with you that are interested.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Roy.
Bye-bye.
All
right, guys. So any thoughts on that?
Obviously, the other reason to come to Annuity Producers is because I'm going to be there. So, you know, let's go. Come on, Tom. You got to come to the Annuity Producers.
Well, why didn't Roy
lunch?
lead with that?
I gotta have lunch or at least a bottle of water, Mark, if I'm coming.
Hey,
you gotta
man,
give me water, buddy. I gotta stay
Roy,
hydrated.
Roy buys us lunch every day at the event. So
I gotta stay hydrated, otherwise I'm in trouble.
Hey, Rebecca.
What?
Looking pretty brown.
I'm really red right now. I developed like a few years ago, my skin and the sun started not getting along.
Yeah, you're a little toasty. Did you have enough coconuts and pineapple?
No, that was the whole reason to go.
But you got enough fish food since you don't eat fish foods anyhow.
Yeah, Jeremy eats fish and he was so sick of fish. He was like, don't these people serve anything normal?
Did you have
He's like, where's the Mexican restaurants? That's all he wanted to know. Every time we drove by a Taco Bell, we had to stop.
OMG. Don't go to Hawaii for Mexican food.
You've met my husband. He only goes for Mexican food.
Yikes.
Now he did eat swordfish. Let's give him his due.
Yeah.
What about chicken on Kauai? Come on, they got chicken everywhere. You know?
Oh, that reminds me, Mark. I finally figured out why the chicken crossed the road.
Yes, okay, right. Share.
The chicken crosses the road to get to Kauai. That's the whole reason they cross the road, to get to Kauai. All the islands have chickens, but Kauai was insanity.
Yeah, last time I was there, they had a big sign like, why did the chicken cross the road, you know? So I'm not sure if you saw that.
It did not. We weren't in Kauai very long, but it was our favorite island.
You liked Kauai the best?
We did as a whole. Yeah, we all did.
Yeah,
You
my
look like you
favorite
had a
island as
blast.
well.
You look like you did everything on the Hawaiian Islands. I don't think you missed anything.
Oh, we missed a few things because towards the end I was just tired. Our last resort, I walked into it and it's a nice resort, so everything was there. And I looked at the boys and I'm like, for the next 3 days, I am not leaving this hotel.
Yeah.
If it can be done at this hotel, I will do it. Otherwise, you're out of luck. I'm tired and I booked a spa day.
Wait, when
Yeah.
you go for trips as long as yours was, you need a vacation from your vacation.
Oh my God, that was like the last 3 days there. That was kind of like what I did. I was exhausted, y'all. And we are so tired of family time right now. We probably won't even enter the same room with each other for until Monday. We've all retreated to different parts of the house and we
Yeah.
haven't even like met up for food or anything yet today. We're so tired of looking at each other.
When does water get put in your pool?
Oh, not for a while. They're doing the tile and the coping right now. But there is so much to do. I mean, they're maybe 20% done with the pool.
We need a lot more pictures, updated pictures of that project. Like a lot.
Oh, well, I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't have one from me today, but I had one sent to me from my lady that was watching my house. And this is just kind of more what I was probably going to take one today if they get done with the coping. Because the coping looks very different. Let's see.
Yeah, you realize I'm gonna bring Eureka the second that thing is done. We're coming for a week.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. That's gonna be
And
so
we're ready
awesome.
for some cannonballs.
Well, it's 9 foot deep in the deepest part, so you can have big ones.
Yeah, good. Good.
Cannon
Alright.
was like, he saw the pool and he remembered one of the places we went where there were training scuba divers and they had a 10-foot pool. And he looked at our pool. He's like, our pool's big enough to do a train for scuba. I'm like, well, it's like a foot short, but it's close.
Hey, Rebecca, you didn't say hi to Ralph.
I saw Ralph over there. I saw you when you jumped on.
My partner in crime.
That's your
Okay, I thought
financial
it was kind of
advisor
like
right
the-
there.
Yeah,
I thought he was like the pet cat in the background. Just there for good looks.
he's my eye candy, Tom. What do you expect?
Absolutely, I guess. I'm not gonna say that, but okay. I did say good, you were there for the good looks. I did say that part. But I'm not calling another guy eye candy. You may look good, dude, but I'm not gonna call you eye candy.
So, Tom, you're gonna have a nice conversation with us that, what it's like to work with your spouse a little bit closer. I want to
Well,
make
that's
sure
why
I want to stay married, my friend. You gotta help us out a little bit.
I understand. And she works from home and I go to the office. So
Yeah,
That sounds like a great plan.
yeah, that's a good
it's
idea.
been with me being sick here at the house, we've had since March the week before the trip that we went to Seattle. We've been with each other every day. The
How are you-
whole day,
how
the
are you
whole week.
feeling, Tom?
Pardon?
How are you feeling? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I feel like I finally feel I've always said, hey, I feel like I'm good now, but then I go to try to do something and I don't. I'm wearing a stupid heart monitor so they can figure out what's wrong. I gotta go my second stay of a sleep study tomorrow night with a CPAP machine to see if that makes me have more stamina. But yeah, today I went to the office today and I felt the last 2 days I've worked actually a full day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, you look good. Take care of yourself, Tom. I'm sending prayers your way, buddy.
I appreciate it. It's 2 full Gatorades, 2 or 3 waters, and 2 sodas a day to make sure I stay hydrated.
Yeah,
So,
good. All right, everybody, have a great day. Rebecca, I'll talk to you later. Thank you for the training today.
Of course.
thank you much for the well wishes. All right, guys.
You bet. Have a good.
Thanks,
good afternoon.
everybody. Have a
Yes,
good
thank
weekend.
you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Rebecca.
Bye.